It's the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for Wednesday, the 30th of March. I'm Michael Groff. The weather around here quieting down and warming up over the next several days. Temperatures returning to above average levels. How long will it last? How warm will it get? And do we have any chance at any rain anytime soon? Let's talk about it. First, the almanac from yesterday, 71 degrees, the afternoon high, 56 was the morning low, the normal high is up to 82, the normal low 57, and we did officially pick up 0.04 of an inch of rain in Sky Harbor. Some of you didn't see anything, some saw a bit more than that, along with some small hail and some gusty winds. As we peek outside right now at 5:40 a.m., it's starting to get light out there earlier this time of year. That's how this works, and we're starting out at 55 degrees at Sky Harbor. Dew point at 44, relative humidity 67%. The winds are light and the barometer is rising. The upper air look this morning, that system that came through here yesterday is moving off into the plain states, a very energetic, dynamic upper trough and going negative tilt as it does. Very strong wind fields associated with that as well. And we're seeing that mixed down to the surface. In addition, of course, there is the possibility of severe weather. Check it out, the watch warning map. First of all, the thing you'll notice there, look at all those wind advisories and high wind warnings. They extend from Louisiana through Arkansas, eastward through much of the deep south, as far north as sections of Illinois and Indiana. High wind warnings for parts of Mississippi and some of the adjacent states. You could see some winds, non-thunderstorm related winds or gradient winds that gust over 60 miles per hour there today. And that's in addition to the severe weather because we have tornado watches up this morning across parts of East Texas, Oklahoma, as well as Louisiana, Arkansas, and into south central Missouri. And those are in effect through 11 a.m. our time, 1 p.m. Central Time today. And within that, we also have a couple of tornado warnings ongoing as I record this. All right, the severe weather outlook for today, we've got the moderate risk, level 4 out of 5 from around Monroe, Louisiana, eastward through the entire state of Mississippi, northward to Memphis and as far east as Tuscaloosa and near Birmingham, Alabama. And then you've got the enhanced risk, level 3 out of 5 for many of the adjacent areas there. And within that, we do have the possibility for all modes of severe weather. First of all, let's look at the probabilistic outlook for tornadoes. There's that 15% chance, again, in that moderate risk. And what that means is there's a 15% chance of a tornado within 25 miles of a given point anywhere in that 15% circle. The crosshatch area also means that there could be significant tornadoes, and that means EF2 or higher. Now, while tornadoes are certainly a possibility with this severe weather event, the main focus is actually going to be on a developing squall line and very strong straight line winds, damaging straight line winds. And so we'll look at the probability of that, and you can see there's a 45% chance, basically a coin flip's chance within 25 miles of a given point, again in that moderate risk area, for damaging straight line winds. And again, with the crosshatch area, that means significant wind damage is possible there. And you might be asking, well, why are some of these storm systems capable of producing more of a tornado outbreak? How come some of them produce strong straight line winds instead, or squall lines? And the reasons are many. The configuration of this system, the winds aloft, the winds through the atmospheric column, and the fact that there's very little instability out ahead of this system. But let's look at one of the main driving forces for why this is going to be such a significant straight line wind event. And that is looking at the bulk shear here, the shear through the atmospheric column, very strong unidirectional shear. That means winds through the atmospheric column all blowing in the same direction. And with the strong gradient winds, then thunderstorms on top of that, you'll have good momentum for those storms moving very quickly eastward with that squall line today. So that's going to create a very strong straight line wind event with any storms that develop. And yes, within the line of storms, there could be significant tornadoes, but they would be fairly short-lived. We're not expecting to see the supercells or discrete cells out ahead of this that produce those violent long track tornadoes, but we don't want to let our guard down with regard to the tornado threat, which does exist today. But again, the strong damaging straight line winds, that's going to be our primary concern from these storms across the deep south today and tonight. All right, looking at precipitation around here, this is valid through Wednesday morning of next week. How about a big steaming hot plate of nothing? It is going to stay very quiet around here for the foreseeable future. We'll talk about why that is and everything else going on as we dive into the models. Have a look at it. This is the GFS. It's the 06Z run, valid at 2 o'clock today. All right, there's that big trough moving into the southeast U.S. Behind it, here in Arizona, we're under a dry northwesterly flow, subsident or sinking air, so nothing for us to worry about. Down at the surface today, mostly sunny, warmer, highs upper 70s to near 80. And there's that storm system, the surface low west of Indianapolis, and with a trailing front, and the squall line will be developing there. And by this afternoon, that'll be pushing into crossing the Mississippi and around Memphis down to just west of Jackson and into eastern Louisiana. So that's where we expect this to be by this afternoon. And then by tonight, that will push further to the east. For us, tonight will be clear, overnight lows mostly in the 50s. And then tomorrow, sunny, warmer, high temperatures in the low 80s or so. All right, here we go to Friday. Some clouds will be around here and there. High temperatures, low, maybe mid 80s. Same thing over the weekend. Low to mid 80s. We might have a day on either Saturday or Sunday where we sneak to the upper 80s. But then another storm system is going to be approaching us from the west, and we've seen various solutions on how this will play out. At this point, it looks like it will be a fairly dry system, not very impactful. Could see an increase in clouds, though, partly sunny sky. There might be some isolated showers across northern Arizona, but here in Phoenix, I do not expect us to see any rain. A few of our ensemble members project some very light precipitation for us, but we're just going to keep that out of the forecast for now. High temperatures may fall back a few degrees here with that feature, but then that system moves quickly off to the east, so by Tuesday, ridging will start to build back in from the west. High temperatures warming toward the lower and middle 80s once again. And then a week from today, this is Wednesday, the 6th of April. And yeah, big ridge for much of the west, and we will warm up, highs getting back close to 90 if that works out. Then taking a look out 10 days, this is Friday, the 8th of April, and the GFS, as is sometimes the case with this model, it does like to show some undercutting energy into the flow, maybe a cutoff low or a wave undercutting the ridge and turning the flow aloft, kind of zonal around here. If that happens, we would see an increase in high clouds and temperatures might back off a few degrees, but overall, I do expect temperatures to be at or above average through much of the forecast period for next week and beyond. All right, looking at rainfall for Phoenix, this is coming off of the GFS ensemble, and this goes out through the 13th of April, and you can forget it, really nothing to worry about there. As is the case, we are moving into the dry season after all. And then temperatures off the national blend of models, we're warming up, and out there toward about the middle part of next week, it's got highs getting up into the 90s. And you know, once we get into April, we get into the 90s, we probably stay into the 90s with a few exceptions, maybe a brief cool down or two left, but that's going to be about it. And then, well, you know what happens. The oven gets turned on and it doesn't get switched off until the end of September or October. So that's going to do it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video back here tomorrow morning. If you enjoy these videos, be sure to subscribe, like, share, click that notification bell, leave those comments, questions, and suggestions. And music fans, I encourage you to check out my streaming station. It's called KMGX. We play a ton of music. We have a lot of fun doing that. Myself and the one and only Michelle involved in that operation. And you get to hear us over there. So what could be better? Of course you're going to listen. I will leave a link to it in the description, so check it out. And thank you so much for watching. It is always appreciated, your continued support. We just couldn't do these videos without you. And you guys be safe out there today. Have yourselves a glorious Wednesday.